talking about sound money under the Conservatives, and I think we can have a little look now at a global comparison of the deficit and also debt levels. And you can see here how the UK is doing. This is a chart from the OBR showing us 42 other countries around the world. We've got the third worst deficit, and when it comes to debt levels, we've got the fourth worst debt. Is this really sound money under the Conservatives?
And this is precisely why we are having to make very difficult decisions, both at autumn statement and at spring budget, but also why the Prime Minister's #1 focus is on tackling inflation.
I guess
because
my
we're
question...
trying to pay these back, you know, we are spending £120 billion a year on debt interest. I would much rather we were spending that money on the public services we all care about. But we have to drive down this debt, which we are determined to do in the medium and long term, which is why it's one of the Prime Minister's 5 priorities.
I guess my question is...
to help with those figures.
You know, you were talking a moment ago about COVID and about the war in Ukraine and how that's impacted the economy in the UK. Well, it's also impacted all these other 42 economies as well. Why are we doing so badly?
Well, if you look, for example, if you look at rates of inflation, developed economies around the world are facing much higher inflation rates for all sorts of reasons. But we are particularly exposed, for example, on gas prices. We have, most of us are on the grid. We're very exposed to international gas prices. And so that is why last autumn we announced the energy price guarantee, which has not only helped halve energy bills around the country, it's also knocked 2 percentage points off inflation. But we also want to help with things such as food inflation. We know that we import 50% of our food. My farmers in Lincolnshire would wish that it was far lower than that. But because of that, we are much more susceptible to price rises in the worldwide price of wheat, for example, which means that then comes through to our shelves on the supermarkets. And so as part of our work to tackle all of this, we're working with supermarkets, for example, to make sure that they're offering value ranges to try to help people, as you've described, who are finding times really tough at the moment.
OK.